Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode, we're talking about NFL wildcard playoff predictions and analytics. And this episode is going to be a little bit different than the prior episodes in that we are going to look at the wildcard matchups based on data, but we're also going to look at the Super Bowl winners and what their data looked like. And also, what were some of the trends, I guess, with Super Bowl winning teams based on overall macro data and those other sort of points. So, for those that are new to the channel, all terms and definitions are going to be in the description. So, if there's anything that you're not familiar with, because a lot of stuff I'm going to be talking about is stuff that definitely is not. This is not something you're going to hear on ESPN. This is definitely not something you're going to hear on NFL Network, for the most part. So any stuff that you're not familiar with, all terms, definitions in the description. You can just check right there. You can also watch any of my past videos on the subject, and you can just kind of get all the information there. So first off, let's get to the wildcard playoff game in terms of what the data says. So far, these are the teams in the wildcard. You have the Chiefs, Titans, Falcons, Rams, Bills, Jaguars, Panthers, and Saints. The data favors the Chiefs over the Titans. It favors the Rams over the Falcons. It also favors the Jaguars over the Bills and the Saints over the Panthers. So that's how the basic data kind of shakes up in terms of the overall data. Now when we get to actual Super Bowl teams, so this is how every single Super Bowl team over the almost, all the way back to the 1999 Super Bowl. 1998, excuse me. So this is all the Super Bowl teams from 1998 to now and what their data looked like with all those teams. And for the most part, when it comes to Super Bowl winning teams, they were all above average. There's definitely a couple teams. The 2011 Giants were a team that were below average when it comes to overall data. The Ravens, 2012 Ravens, 2006 Colts, 2007 Giants. There's definitely outliers. There's definitely some teams who buck the trends a bit and go on to win a Super Bowl. That's definitely a true statement. However, most of the teams that end up winning the Super Bowl, as you can clearly see in the data, are usually very strong football teams. They're usually teams that have very strong overall data, whether you're talking the ability to put points up on offense or defense, the defense's ability to prevent points. So this is basically just a general view of what those Super Bowl teams look like based on data when you look at the overall data here. And the other part I wanted to emphasize was these main metrics. Because after looking at all the data when it comes to Super Bowl winning teams, there seems to be a theme when it comes to the averages. The average for a winning Super Bowl team and the averages for a losing Super Bowl team. And the biggest indicators overall when it comes to winning football teams is they typically had better defenses, better ability to create turnovers, better ability to create sacks, and better ability to create interceptions. And when you look at certain teams, like if you look at the 2007 Giants or the 2011 Giants, there were teams that weren't really that great overall in every single data point, but they did have very good sack percentages. There's also other teams that have very good interception percentages. So the biggest thing about Super Bowl winning teams is it's not necessarily about being an offensive juggernaut, and we've seen this a lot. Anybody who's watched football over the last 20 years knows that the best offense it's always kind of dicey because you're wondering if that defensive team that can create turnovers and create sacks and stuff like that can mess with that offense and disrupt that offense and cause that offense to end up losing. But data-wise, there's a little bit of truth to that. There's a little bit of truth to teams that have better sack percentages typically going on to win the Super Bowl. Teams that typically have better interception percentages. The ability to create turnovers is really important when it comes to these types of games, especially very, very close, tight football games. So when you look at the data yourself, because that's what I hope these videos do, is you're able to look at all the data and make your own decisions. You know, I hope that's the goal I have, that you think about a couple of these things going into the game, going into the games, because I do think it's something that's very important to think about when you're trying to judge which team's going to beat who, is these other sort of factors, if you will, or phenomenons, or whatever you want to call it, based on you know, how past Super Bowl teams have performed. But the basics, of course, is that you want teams that are above average overall, and you want them to turn the football over, and you want them to obviously create sacks, and you want them to do pretty much most of the things that you want most teams to do. But I just wanted to throw that out there, give you some more data, give you some more information, and ultimately you can make whatever decision you want with it. And of course, my name is James Coburn. You can find my other work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.